You know, the BBC. Fair, impartial, marvellous organisation. They had a documentary, One Day in Gaza. Probably wouldn't be the most exciting and fun day. Well, it might be the most exciting day of your life, but One Day in Gaza. And in that documentary, they interviewed a lot of Palestinians, Gazans, whatever. And many of them used the term Yehudi when talking about me, not in a negative sense. Yehudi. BBC, in their translation, used for the translation of that word, Israeli. Because that's fine, isn't it? The Palestinians are allowed to dislike the Israelis. They're allowed to. They're oppressed. Yeah. Yehudi means Jew. That's all it means. Jew. So the BBC took it upon themselves to take out someone saying, I'm sick of them Jews, and changed it to sick of them Israelis. And they've been doubling down, defending themselves, recreating language so as not to offend people, whilst wildly offending some other people that aren't so bad to offend because they don't get explodey or cutty head offy as much over here, perhaps. I don't know, but the BBC just getting it fucking wrong again. But it's the fact that when they were told, like, that's not what Yehudi means, they said, well, in the context, we decided Israel would be the better thing to use. Israeli would be the better thing to use. I don't think Palestinians call anyone Israeli, do they? I mean, a load of them probably fucking do. We always think that every Palestinian is the worst possible example of a Palestinian. That's not the case. But yeah, I'm sure they don't refer to Israel or Israelis because they don't recognise the state of Israel as having any kind of legitimacy. But, you know, let's just redefine things, which is what we've done with Islamophobia, apparently. Not that I know what the actual... I mean, there's a dictionary definition of Islamophobia anyway. And, but they've put a definition through in the UK because it wasn't good enough, the old one. I think the old one was just like, you know, someone who hates on Muslims. The new one is Islamophobia is rooted in racism, and it is a type of racism that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. Now, this is very hard to understand. It sounds like a coherent sentence. Islamophobia is rooted in racism. So your hatred of a religion is rooted in race. It's a type of racism, and there was another page where they explain why it's racism, I'll try and dig that up soon, that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. What's an expression of Muslimness? If it's the guy that, you know, is charitable, does go to the mosque several times a day, feeds poor neighbours, that kind of thing, that kind of devout person, that'd be pretty bad, wouldn't it? But an expression of Muslimness could also be what ISIS do, who claim that they're doing it, they're following the Quran. Tricky that, because I would like to target that expression of Muslimness whenever it suited me to do so. What this is blasphemy law through the back door. Now, this is nothing new in the UK. Tony Blair, I believe, when he was in power, was flirting with the idea of bringing back blasphemy laws, because apparently he's a devout Catholic, possibly about as devout a Catholic as ISIS are devout Muslims, but there we go. But that's all this is. It's incredibly fucking vague. It means nothing. And I was listening to an imam on the radio talk about it. You were listening to the same show at the same time, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
And he said, well, the Jews got to define what anti-Semitism is, so we should define what Islamophobia is. Now, agree with the definition of anti-Semitism or not, it's very straightforward. I don't like these splitting up of hate laws. So I don't like it at all. You know, don't be racist, don't be a fucking bigot, don't attack people for what they are. But you should be free to attack the sort of societal parts around it and the religion. You should be able to discuss, debate, say I don't like. It's like I despise religion, but I don't despise the religious. You know, I detest Islam, I don't detest all Muslims. I detest Judaism, I don't detest all Jews. I can't hate someone for what they believe in as long as they're not having a negative impact on my life. But this sort of shit does. This is a ridiculously vague description. And the funniest part is the Conservative Party have said, "Oh, we're not hitching our wagons to this." It's easier to find a story about how bad the Conservatives are for not simply accepting this than it is to find the definition of Islamophobia on the internet. Yet when Labour refused consistently for a good amount of time to accept the terms of anti-Semitism, no one gave a shit. No one cared. So, Islamophobia is rooted in racism and is a type of racism that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. That's a really fucking strange definition. I'm not sure, I'm not sure I understand that. I'm sure it'll become clear in the fullness of time, though, Graham. I'm sure in the fullness of time we'll understand the ramifications of such things.
I think that redefining Islam as a race is a very dangerous thing to do. Very, very dangerous. It's like you said, it's blasphemy, isn't it? Bringing in blasphemy laws.
Yeah, because also people like Imam Twahidi, who no one can hate on for being a Muslim because he's so fucking inclusive, and he's on Twitter. Go give him a follow. It's fascinating. If you think jihadists want to kill you, nothing compared to how much they'd like to kill this guy. For him, it's all about inclusivity, so it can't be about race because everyone can be a Muslim, and it's open to. It's not about race. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's just about the religion itself. But I suppose it's because Jews consider themselves a race, and there is some DNA linking to that. But I mean, that's.
Well, it's because they kind of, they're the religion that doesn't actually want you to join. Like, if you go and ask to join, they'll be like, well, go and read those 3 books and really think about it. Because
but they don't go out canvassing, do they?
No, quite the opposite.
You don't see those on Market Street. So the Hare Krishnas, last time I was in town, Hare Krishnas, Muslims and Christians, all campaigning for new members. Didn't like any of that.
But I mean, it's like I said to you there. In terms of abnormal things, that I make a slight exception for anti-Semitism, even though I'm not totally comfortable with the definition, just because so many people genuinely do really hate Jews and hate on them. But in terms of Islamophobia, the biggest victims of Islamophobia are Muslims. By other Muslims, it's like it's Muslims killing Muslims. So what, are they now Islamophobic as well?
Depends on whether they're attacking the expression of Muslimness.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just too fucking vague a term.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And the problem is when something is this vague, then we have problems down the line because it gets used and abused. And there's already been police officers coming out saying we can't do this.
We've all been told you shouldn't attack religion. It's disrespectful. You shouldn't. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all, because you should be able to say anything you like about any religion, just as they should be allowed to say anything they like about atheism or agnosticism. And by the same token, they shouldn't be able to demand that you respect their religion. Why, if you disrespect my religion, you disrespect me? Well, that's up to you. That's you taking offence. I can't give offence. You can only take it. And this to me smacks of that thing. We've all been lectured. I've been lectured online. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't say. Fuck that. If I want to criticise a fucking Bronze Age fucking Abrahamic religion, I will do so. I will do so freely. I think the problem is that we're seeing such amplified thoughts and feelings online that any criticism of anything now is automatically taken to be some kind of condemnation of entire swathes of people, and it's just ammo to fucking beat you back with, isn't it? That's all it is. It's just bollocks.
It's how the rape gangs worked for 30 years. It's how they got away with it, because people just stepped away, like treated them as a homogenous one thing, and just went, well, we don't want to seem racist, do we? And it's like, well, it's
Was it 1,400 kids?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, there was just another 40 arrests made.
think it's over 1,400 children.
Yeah, thousands, man.
Were raped.
Paul.
I don't want to get into it. I get too fucking. The wife told me a story she dug up because I read about, in America, a guy got rights to see his child even though his child was born of rape.
Yeah.
My missus went, that happened with Rotherham, didn't it? And I was just fucking, what? The same thing, This guy, this piece of shit.
Yeah, I saw that.
Got her pregnant at 14, raped her, groomed her, raped her. And the council were trying to help him get access to the child. Luckily, the kid was a teenager by this point. He's like, actually, do you know what? I don't want anything to do with him. Fuck that. But he could have pushed and pushed and pushed. He wouldn't go to court. He could have pushed until that child was taken off that woman and put with his family. How the fuck does that happen? How the fuck does that happen where anyone thinks a rapist has a right to see the child? I don't understand that at all.
Well, that's been kicking off a lot recently, hasn't it? Because all of our child stuff is very, very secret. And you're not allowed to see some of the evidence against you sometimes and all the rest of it. Like, the protections are too far. And yeah, things like this keep happening. And they're getting a lot of pressure on them now. Of like, well, who are you protecting ultimately when there's a bad decision? Which there's been a hell of a lot.
No, it's just fucking rife within this country. In a terrible state at the moment.
That's why I don't have a GP.
Pump you full of them fucking poisons, won't they?
In terms of Paul, on YouTube, he said it's like a Chinese Muslim calling themselves an Arab. It's a decent way of putting how ridiculous it is, because there's a few million Chinese Muslims, isn't there?
Yeah, they're having a bit of a rough time of it at the minute, to be fair.
They're all in sort of death camps, aren't they? Cause
they're not allowed to call the kid Muhammad.
Yeah, they've banned that. Fucking China, man. Why do we keep taking all these Chinese laws and going, should we do that here? Should we have like mass filters on the internet and facial recognition?
Don't get me started. Well, facial recognition, that poor guy that got a 90 quid fine. In case you don't know, we weren't going to talk about this. In London, they ran a test of facial recognition software. It was shit. Scanned fucking thousands, found like 3, and wrongly found a few as well. Some 14-year-old kid, really good student, coming home from school. They mixed him up with someone else, pounced on him, back of the van. He was fucking terrified. One guy someone said, they got facial recognition cameras down there, so he covered his face. It's only a test, innit? Police got hold of him, he told him to fuck off. And £90 fine, there you go. Obstruction. You will be recognised. Now, the argument goes, doesn't it? If you've got nothing to hide. But what's it got to do with anybody, what my private business is? Yeah. Maybe I just don't want anyone to fucking know. It doesn't mean I'm up to no good. It just means it's none of your fucking business what I'm doing, where I'm going. And also, you got to watch that, because we've heard this a lot. If you've done nothing wrong, or if you've got nothing to hide, what's wrong? Because you may find out in another year or two down the line, that thing you didn't think you had to hide becomes something you had to hide. And it all gets dragged fucking out for you. Disgraceful. Yeah, that's interesting. Will they make people take off burqas and things of that nature?
No. That'd be Islamophobic, Hayden.
I used to like this country, dude. It's really going to shit. Do you know what? I'm done. I've got to stop. Sorry, mate. Got to stop. Sorry, guys. I know we got another 10 minutes. We're going to talk about Alabama. We'll pick it up in a podcast, I promise. If you'd like to see more trigger warning, please come hang out with us. We do every Tuesday the live podcast, which is on YouTube and triggerwarning.tv/live. Got the show on Thursday, which of course is on the massive liveleague.com. And Graham does his show every Sunday afternoon at 12 p.m. Do go check him out and everything else. If you'd like to support the project, please go to patreon.com/triggerwarningtv. If you can drop us $1 or $2, that'd be great. If you don't want to do that, just share the links. I'm really sorry, guys. I've just got to stop it. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.